the mechs, the Zoo Warlock with the additional with the mechs on the secondary deck was actually okay against the Hunter. Not just going for that really big play along with the Sea Giant. You have some war gear for the upgrade, a lot of magnetics to actually go for that later game, which is actually okay onto the mana curve.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, let's get into our first game in this series, and this is going to be, like I said, like you just said, primary decks. Pretty good hands, actually, to start things off for both players. Not necessarily the perfect ones, but certainly ones that'll get the job done and allow them both to start building up these early boards.
Getting that once out with the taunt is actually what yesterday is wanting. So in terms of the life steal and amount of heal that you can have, yesterday doesn't really have much.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday really just is pretty much forced to just play the hand that he has been dealt. One option would be to coin out the Magic Carpet just to continue getting as many of those, as much benefit out of that card as possible. But instead, it's, of course, much better to go ahead and clear out that Hyena, stop that snowball from starting.
Yeah, either both players. Reconnect is also trying to get that board back. Really hard. Do you just go for the rush, getting the Sergeant out of the way?
I mean, I think Animal Companion is just always too much value to hit on turn 3. It sucks when you get the Leok and you don't have anything else to work with it, but I mean, I think on the other side, while Reconnect might have had a little bit of a weak turn, yesterday is about to have a very strong turn. You can develop the Magic Carpet and then maybe corn out a Witchwood Imp or maybe even the Argent Squire. Either way, it just looks fantastic.
Yeah, still, I think it was a good chance. Suffer is also good. Misha is also great. Preventing damage directly to the face. So I think that was a really good chance. But getting the 1 out of 3, I think is somewhat painful.
Yeah, and the Imp survives. So basically the best possible outcome there. Yeah, really good. I don't know if you want to call that RNG or not, but hey, look at that. You force a marked shot on a 1-mana Imp. I mean, doesn't get much better than that, and that's your entire turn for Reconnect, whereas yesterday gets to rebuild this big bad board.
Everything on the line for extra face damage. And really looking to put down some more with Grim Rally.
Yeah, if he draws into that, obviously that's basically the Warlock Bloodlust, essentially. And he has the opportunity to tap next turn. And anytime you feel like you're getting low on your hand, well, just tap your way back into it. There's an Evil Genius, almost absolutely perfect.
Yeah, after attacking into face.
Yeah, you got to remember order of operations.
Yeah, just getting one of your weakest minions out there. Get some lackeys.
Did you learn PEMDAS in school, G-Clef?
No, I did not.
That's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Let's teach you the order of operations for addition, subtraction, multiplication.
That's pre-algebra.
Yeah.
Long time before algebra. Getting that rush from the carpet now.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, you're heading into turn 6. You draw into the Solarium. You're going to be able to dump your entire hand. He gets to the second Solarium. What more could you possibly want?
More optional cards for you to throw down.
To give you an idea of the deck curve of this Warlock deck, it includes, I think, 20. What is that? 1, 2. That's 17 one-cost cards. So you're probably going to be able to play everything off the Solarium, unless you draw your Sea Giant. And actually, you're probably going to be able to play those too.
Yeah, very soon. With that many minions on board, but with the rush, he's certainly thinking about clearing a few. Do you just go all into the carpet?
I mean, I think that's not a bad option. I think the carpet's getting more work done than any other card on the board for sure.
Yesterday already used I think he used the double Void Taunts. So Reconnect is not really too concerned about extra taunts coming out, and as long as he removed all the number of minions, the Giant is going to be less of a worrisome thing.
Well, look at the Solarium value. I mean, doesn't get much better than that. You draw the Mecharoo and the Grim Rally at the same time.
Go with everything.
That's literally the reason the Mecharoo is in the deck, is for Grim Rally and sacrifice to Evil Genius.
give lifesteal, but I think that's still a very good trade. You just had to do it anyhow.
Yeah, if you're gonna win the board as a Warlock, that's almost.
And he gets a vicious.
How much better can this actually get? Okay. All right, like you don't need to prove it to us. We know you're good. A very, very strong turn there for yesterday.
Wow.
Reconnect doesn't have that trademark turn 6 that we're used to him having with that Dire Frenzy.
Yeah, finally a game without it. And yesterday got a source of some life steals.
That's actually a fantastic draw because the Solarium, if you draw Leroy with it, you can't actually really play most of those cards. But now look at that, you just get 3 draws for free. Double Solarium in a Warlock deck is basically the dream.
The light protects me.
And the knife.
Oh my god, he's getting perfect juggles on everything. I mean, it's a 50-50, so let's not go too crazy, but this is the best Warlock outcome that I think we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, but yesterday knew that trap was rat anyhow. So with that set of extra attack, even Divine Shield is going to keep that Squire alive.
Finally a knife that doesn't hit the perfect target, but okay, it's looking pretty good.
Good enough.
Yeah, I think good enough is a good way to put that. It's like, well, maybe it could have been better. Getting exactly what you need, so. Finally with a Spring Paw and a Wing Blast, it's going to be able to kill the carpet, but that's not even the most dangerous thing on the board. You probably just need to deal with a Juggler at this point.
Yeah, also with Lynx, you might actually be wanting to get some more out. Because there's very likely an extra set of carpet anyhow. And you do want to get that Knife Juggler out of the way first. Because that has been actually reducing down the life points onto a lot of his cards.
Well, finally, a draw that isn't just absolutely perfect for yesterday. The Sea Giant's coming a couple of turns too late after the board has really been thinned down. So, I mean, probably tap into Magic Carpet. I mean, there's a world in which you can play Leroy here.
Yes, I think so. I think that's something that yesterday is thinking, because you can also get lifesteal out of it, but just going for that heavy cost. You do want to get Leroy for lethal.
Yeah, the Sea Giant just providing a lot of diversity to the board. It's kind of rare that you're able to not only trade out against small minions, but also big ones. Now, a Wyvern into the carpet. Ugh, man, that just feels so bad. And I think we're setting up towards that lethal. That's it.
Yeah, with that Leroy, still without that Leroy, I think it could have been okay.
I was hoping
just having the perfect choices.
I was hoping there was a Grim Rally lethal so that he didn't have to show all the other perfect cards he had in his hand. But that is the power of the Warlock yesterday, bringing a deck that is definitely not rank 1 on the ladder, but making it look that way with some incredible turns. Double Solarium changed their secondary or tertiary decks in between these rounds, and just in looking at the Hunter deck coming in from Reconnect, he hasn't been forced to change from his primary deck at all during this entire tournament. So
yeah, never.
We'll see if he opts to. There aren't so many differences between his secondary and tertiary decks. What's the biggest one that stands out to you, G-Clef?
Oh, the secondary certainly. I think we had once going Reconnect going for that secondary. Because we did see the Hatchet.
That's right.
Hatchet and the Revenge of the Wild. But other than that single game, he has stuck to the primary deck. And tertiary, of course, having 2 Savannah High main. Those are the 2 big ones. Removing 1 tracking, deadly shot. And really looking, if you're up against something that's going for the late game, especially like Warriors, I think that's a good choice for tertiary. For now, against Warlock, I think you stay.
Well, for Warlock, obviously, we talked about maybe moving to that the mech version in that secondary deck, but I don't think you even need to do that. Everything seems to be kind of firing on all cylinders for yesterday. I would say that this hand probably, not the strongest version that he could hope for, but it does still kind of play itself if you want to go for something like the Mecharoo into Witchwood Imp. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, even I think yesterday kind of feels with that alpha. Okay, Reconnect literally doesn't really have anything, that he just had to play that Alpha Wolf on the board because he didn't have anything else. So yesterday he can just keep on pressuring. Of course, he just has to anyhow.
Right. Both of these players are sort of, usually you think of it as the player controlling the deck, but in this situation, the decks are kind of controlling the players because they all only have 1 or 2 plays to make, mostly only 1. So they just have to do what the deck is telling them to do each turn.
Usually we have a lot of reactive decks and moves coming out from a lot of classes, but these two, they can't just wait to react to the opponent. You might actually be tempoed out. And yesterday, see which lackeys. Kobold is not bad. You can remove some late pressures too.
Yeah, and it'll really help dealing with the Savannah High Main, and especially if we see one of those vicious scale highs. It's not going to give you lifesteal if you go with the Kobold. Wow, multi-shot. How good a card is that, G-Clef?
Yep. That wasn't the best 2 targets, but still not bad.
Works for me. Now the question is, can you find more random Murlocs to get a benefit off of that War Leader?
Maybe in the future, but not right now with the cards in his hand.
I checked the deck list to see if he randomly includes any in there. It's like, no.
No more locks. It's no shaman.
That would have been the big brain play. Or if he included a crab in there to eat the Murloc just randomly, that would be pretty
dumb because you're getting removed. You're removing a 3/3 from your board to get the crab.
It's the moral victory there.
Yeah, yeah. Reconnect still not really having the best hand to deal with.
Yeah.
Deal with the cards on the board from yesterday. He's on fire. Can remove everything right now.
This is just way too good. I mean, it's starting to get a little bit unreal how consistent yesterday's deck is performing. And like I said, this is like a 3,000 dust deck. This is a deck that you can build right now, even if you've just barely started playing Hearthstone. Maybe not quite as cheap as it used to be, but it's still just so powerful. And yeah, I hope you guys can kind of see that just based on how consistently it's performing here. Look at this Grim Rally.
It's gonna be a powerful board. I mean, Reconnect does have Unleash the Hound, but he needs some power-ups along with it, like the Alpha Wolf, which he already used already.
Yeah.
And Timber is actually what he's looking for. He can power up the Hyena, as he already has 2. I think that is the only option. He can't really move much.
Yeah, it feels a little bit bad even to play Unleash the Hounds here because it just, like the Grim Rally last turn pretty much undid the damage from Unleash the Hounds here. By spreading it out over the entire board, there's really nothing that Reconnect can do. Sure, he's got that big Hyena there, but I mean, even that's not too scary. You can even just clean it with Leroy.
Yeah, Reconnect with the secondary. He does have a second Direwolf Alpha, so there are a few other options. This Hyena is pretty strong. Getting it out of the way, I don't think it's going to be a big problem for yesterday. He can just consume a lot.
I mean, we're starting to get towards that, faces to plays turn, where if you add everything up, what is that, 7, 8, 9 plus Leroy, that would have been much damage.
Yes, 15.
Hey, that's
knife hitting face.
Well, hey,
another face.
Yeah, if you just landed one of those knives.
Yeah, you want the Murloc to actually trade, so you keep your carpet. You don't want to sacrifice your carpet and the Squire instead.
Yeah, I think you just have to sacrifice the Squire. I mean, it sucks to...
And Murloc?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the carpet's more valuable.
So many possibilities.
But there are so many possibilities. You can just go face with... I guess going face with everything would be kind of irresponsible. Super greedy, so obviously you don't want to do that. But it's about what you trade in to the Hyena. And I think he's actually going to trade Carpet and the Squire. Yep, there it is. Saves the Murloc War Leader. He's really hoping he randoms more Murlocs off of something. Maybe a transform from a lackey. I don't know, but it's still a very scary position for Reconnect to be in. He needs a scale hide. Is that right on time, G-Clef?
Yes.
No, it's 1 turn late. But it's still pretty good.
Still pretty good as long as you can get it off, getting the knife juggler to help you keep the board. Leroy is the only one other than the egg. Egg plus the Grim Rally could have been okay in this turn. But no further power up to actually pressure a lot more face damage.
Let's see. I mean, 5 and 5 is 10, but that leaves you with, you know, more potential to draw into another scale hide and then just get out of range. And I think that's what we're sort of seeing right here. Yesterday, sure, he's got a lot of power on his board, but he's starting to run out of steam just a little bit. And the value of this Hunter deck is really going to come through, especially if he draws another scale hide.
Liok again. He's really looking for... He did get the lifesteal, so it's not as bad. But to get Misha or even the Huffer to take out a few of the minions, that could have been an okay situation. You don't really want to use the kill command when you want to go for the lethal.
Another tap coming in. You know, tapping at this stage, it's going to get you these the minions you want, but he's really looking for something like the Solarium that's going to fill up his hand and let him really dump all that excess mana. Because this version, this primary deck, does not have a lot of card draw aside from that Solarium.
Oh, Reconnect's going to get the call.
Yeah, speaking of card draw, that's exactly what he needed to fill up his hand again. And it is a Dire Frenzied Vicious Scale Hide, so even more healing coming through. And oh man, this is going from bad to worse for yesterday. I think the tipping point has been reached here, G-Clef.
Oh, he doesn't even use the alpha for extra +1 lifesteal. But that's just one miss. I don't think it's a big concern. I think Reconnect is really back in game.
Oh yeah, for sure. At this point, the Warlock is pretty much out of juice, and the Hunter is really juicing up on all of that scale hide healing. Oh man, this is just really difficult. I think you tap for Solarium. Nope, not gonna do it, and that's it. GG. Yesterday taps out, and that'll be Reconnect claiming his first victory to tie the series up at 1-1.
Yeah, it's really cool. Some clutch scale hide if it didn't come out for one more turn until turn 8. It could have been dangerous with the board that actually yesterday he had. Warlock pretty strong, but as you saw, once your board runs out of things to actually put down, once you lose that control, it's going to be really hard for you to come back. This is literally going face to face. It's like two guys fighting without a shield. You just have either if you just have swords or no sword, just punches. No defense, just all in attack to the face.
Yeah, not really. There's no gentleness involved. This is not called, you know, a gentleness stone or a friendship stone. No, it's, well, actually, Hearthstone's not that violent either. But
yeah,
this would be violent stone if it were an expansion. Just not really thinking about the big picture. It's just going straight for the face, which is, of course, the place.
Yeah, Innkeeper is a pretty friendly guy.
Yeah, he's like almost too friendly.
Yeah.
Like, what if, like, when does the Innkeeper have a bad day?
When he doesn't have customers?
Oh yeah, that's
true. He always has customers.
Except that
though.
I'm pretty sure that like millions of people play Hearthstone, so he's probably got a pretty good business
we gotta wait for those
queue
times, man. There's so many people logging in at the same time
That's
sometimes.
Right. He's got a big door for all those people to fit through. And lots of tables. But that's going to do it for our second game, but we still have our third game coming up. And for
No, it's 1-1.
For our third game coming up.
Oh, yes.
There we go. Got it. See, I failed, but I saved it, but you didn't see the save coming. But you got to trust.
I had to call this one out.
No matter how
go to the
deep
video
a hole I dig myself in, I've always got a ladder to climb my way out of here. It's like
I went with the hammer and then just smashed on your ladder.
It's like Dragon Ball's Goku's pole. It just keeps extending no matter how long I need it to be to climb out of these holes.
Yeah, he keeps on extending his hair. Every single time he gets his power up.
Okay, here we go. It's game number 3, and we get to see whether or not either one of our players made any sort of adjustments. If there was an adjustment, I would expect it to be to maybe the secondary deck for our Warlock player to get some of those mighty mechs in, but it's actually Reconnect that changes to his secondary deck to get those Hunter's hatchets.
Yeah, exactly what you go for. It's a best removal tool that he has right now. And also excellent if you just have one more beast for extra durability. So that's exactly what you want. You will with just 2 damage, but most of the time you will find the target to just remove one off Warlock.
Not a great starting hand for yesterday. He doesn't have a whole lot of potential in the next upcoming turns. But actually, once he gets to turn 4, turn 5, that's looking pretty good. He'll maybe have enough minions to play the Sea Giant, and the Solarium will definitely help him get there.
I think Sea Giant is... It's possible, what you just said, with that many minions on the board, but it's unlikely we will have that many minions on the board because both of them, they want to trade so that they can take control on the board. So having the Sea Giant is actually somewhat painful for yesterday at the moment.
Yeah, certainly a dead draw now.
Yeah, for Reconnect, not even going to spend anything. Not even a Shimmer
here?
Fly.
I mean, it feels so bad to tap, right? You're not developing the board, you're not creating any momentum for yourself, but maybe just playing the Voidwalker and passing? Exactly. Beat you to it.
What are you?
Gul'dan and I are on the same page, yeah. Killing a 1-3 for free, it doesn't feel too great.
Yeah, because Reconnect didn't put anything on the board. I think yesterday found some room to find those lackeys.
Not a bad choice at all. He's going to get the bonus durability from Headhunter's Hatchet off the Shimmer Flies, so that feels really good. Strong turn for Reconnect to develop not only a weapon, he'll have a couple more charges on it, but he's also going to get a free spell from that Shimmer Fly, which he can use for further removal.
Yes, depending on which spell it is actually going to be. Yesterday he got Kobold, which is one of the best ones to go against the Beast right here. If you just want that, if you just want easy ones like the Alpha Wolf removed, or even the Timberwolf here.
Yeah.
Just going for that straight shot 2 damage.
We're coming up on turn 3 as well, so what yesterday is expecting is that there's going to be like an animal companion coming through. So he's thinking, okay, well, what do I do that survives through that? And I think he's saying, well, maybe he doesn't have too many good options right then, but he's developing for a very strong turn 5 or 4, 5, 6 coming up.
Yeah, see, with the weapon, you can have a lot easier time just removing all the minions. So yesterday thinking again, okay, if I put anything super weak on the board, it's just going to be removed and I need some combos to happen.
Well, currently, what are the combos we're looking at? I think it's a combo of Scarab Egg into Lackeys.
Yeah, I think Egg with... It's either the question, because with the Lackey attacking into the Timberwolf, it's not gonna kill the Egg anyhow. So you might actually be wanting to get more hand draw. The board right now is not too scary.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of looking at it. I think he is. I'm actually surprised that he killed it with the Kobold Lackey instead of playing the Egg and going for Goblin Lackey. But I think he's thinking of kind of what you were saying. Well, maybe I can tap to draw, but well, actually, this way he gets to play both Lackeys and the Egg without damaging anything on board. But he doesn't save that Kobold Lackey for later, and I think that can be really valuable in the right situation.
Yeah, especially because there's another Timberwolf. Along with that, Unleash the Hound. That's easy board clear. So whatever yesterday we'll be having, Reconnect's going to be able to bounce off of it. Still has 4 mana.
And there it goes. So yeah, perfect usage of Unleash. Obviously, if you had played the inner or the Timberwolf, you could have done like 10 to face, and that feels pretty good too. But if you had done that, then the Sea Giant would have come down, and you still could have lost the board. So.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's exactly what he's thinking. He still has this has one more Unleash the Hound in the deck for Reconnect, so I think he's not really concerned about board clear as much, as long as he gains control here.
Yeah, yesterday at this point, or Reconnect at this point, knows as long as he can control the board and limit it from getting too giant, then, well, not only will it not have a giant there, he'll be able to have one of these huge dire frenzy turns, which, hey, we're coming right up on that turn 6.
Yeah, no, by turn 5, if Reconnect is only controlling a few and making sure the opponent side is actually having about the same, I think Beast Hunter right now is doing awesome. and not really going to die to anything strong at the moment. So reducing down, trading early on so you get all the value from the frenzy.
Well, hey, a Magic Carpet Ride feels pretty good right about now. Playing that down and being able to empty a couple of the other cards out of your hand. I mean, wow, it's going to not only clear the board, but Freezing Trap sucks. But it's not like it's the end of the world. You can still play a Dire Wolf and get the job done.
Yeah, Reconnect really wanting to just getting that carpet out of the way.
No carpets allowed.
Yeah, no, without the carpet, Reconnect will basically control the game from here on.
Reconnect is that guard that stops the magic carpet in Aladdin from going into the palace. Like, no, you're not allowed to come in here.
There's another carpet though.
You know how we kill carpets in this house? With arrows and axes. That's how we do it.
That's pretty good aim then.
Playing the Solarium, what's in store? Probably just 3-1 health minions.
Oh, Knife Juggler.
Okay, actually that's pretty much the best possible draw. Getting some of the high cost 2 mana minions.
And you also have Taunt to keep your Knife Juggler in safe position against the Hatchet.
Same goes for the Dire Wolf Alpha. So feeling pretty good about that. Actually going for double Dire Wolf Alpha.
Making sure you do one more face damage in this turn and actually making the taunt even stronger.
Flesh fails. Try crystal.
So about time Reconnect is looking for some big values here.
Is that big value?
Call.
Oh, actually, that is pretty valuable. Master's Call will get him more value in hand, but he needs more value on the board, and he's already used up a lot of it. Only one more Unleash the Hounds in the deck. How does he even dig for that? I guess he can't. Shimmerfly might be able to give it to him, so that might be one option, but he doesn't have enough mana to play that and Tundra Rhino to kill it.
But still, he can't really break into. So which one do you choose? Just the Alpha? Just one of the Dire Wolf?
I mean, yeah, I think that makes the most sense. The other way that you could try to think about it is maybe you choose the Knife Juggler and then try to juggle down some more of the minions on the board. But as is, you're sitting at 14 life, and where's that Scale Hide when you need it? Reconnect has had a Dire Frenzy Scale Hide every single game that we've watched him play. And then one series he doesn't get that combo, he loses heart.
Yep, and already used the Dire Frenzy on the Timberwolf. So with the Master's Call, if he looks for those +1s, I think it's... You can have some chance coming back, but still the board from yesterday is already too much face damage here.
Well, things going from bad to worse for Reconnect. With that Leroy in hand, that means that, I mean, maybe you can't play it now, but certainly in the turns to come, it is just going to get more and more dangerous.
Yeah, I can't get lethal now. Lacking 4 damage, but the next turn, if Reconnect does not really trade perfectly, I can't do Zuljin yet. Only turn 8. And we don't really see anything other pairing up. Like if he can use the Master's Call, but even if that Unleash the Hound does come out, I don't think it's going to be perfect cleanup.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even about cleanup at this point. For Reconnect, he needs to find a way to get to that Scale Hide. I think that's really your, not just win condition, but just the condition you need to stabilize. So here we go. We're digging for it.
To survive.
There it is. Okay, there's the Scale Hide, but it's not the Scale Hide you're really looking for.
It's the weak one.
That's right.
As long as you're dealing some trade and getting the life, it feels like honey to... That's gonna taste like honey to Hunter right now. Not with that. Sergeant, that's lethal directly to face.
Yes, Leroy has one direction, and that is straight to the face. Reconnect, finally finding a loss there. His Hunter deck is mortal. It doesn't just win all the time, G-Clef, but you know what does win all the time? That is this